Hi, fellow traders. I hope everybody had a great Friday, had a great week. I know it was a little slow today after the first hour. So hopefully you watched some videos, got some study time in. You can't get enough of that. The secret to my success is how much time I put in studying. Um, I've talked about using this on-demand feature from Thinkorswim, where you can go back and play days in the market. I can trade 2 days in 1 day. I'm on the weekend. I can play the market. That's the best way that I can get ahead, because I can gain 5 years of experience in 2 years, and that's what I've done. A lot of you guys may be on the West Coast. It's like 8 or 9 o'clock over there, and I'm still on the computer. And over here, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Sometimes I don't go to bed till 2. Because if I see something and I get excited about something I see, then I'm going to go back and back test it, and I'm going to look at other similar trades, and I'm going to see if I see the same thing happening. And that's how you get to that next level. And that's how you can get to that level a little faster. There are no shortcuts. You have to put the time in, and that's what I do. And on days like today, I watched a couple of instructional videos, went back and reviewed some things, chatted with people. When I'm talking to, chatting on PM or getting emails, and I'm answering questions, that's helping me reflect on my trading, and that's adding value to what I do. So all of these things I do really make a big difference. But let me I'm gonna go ahead and get into my trade from the day. I don't want to get into preaching because I might be here all night. But ATVI was one of the ones I had on watch. I think I had CYBR and another, I can't remember. But I get them on watch, and I kind of wait and watch the last 30 minutes of pre-market. That tells me what tickers or what ticker I want to watch. I'll try to eliminate 2, if not 1, but both of them, and just focus on 1 ticker. And because I realize now that I just need to pick the best one to give me the best opportunity and maximize that move. If the one I pick doesn't work out, one of the other 2, if they worked out, I'm going to be able to catch a secondary move anyway. So all won't be lost. So I've kind of reset how I do things. I refocused what I do beginning this month, and it's working out perfectly. I have a scan that I use every morning, and I don't look at all the gappers anymore. This one pulls the best gappers out that meet my criteria. I still use trade ideas. It's more powerful than I ever thought it was. So I pull out these, it gives me these tickers, and yes, some of them hit. There may be a buyout or something crazy, but I can look at that and dismiss it. But it's rarely will I get over 6 tickers on this scan. Sometimes it's only 2 or 3. Sometimes it's on an average is 4 or 5, but I can always come up with 2 or 3 that pass the vet, and I can put on my watch list for the day. But this morning, ATVI was the one that I liked the best, and here the levels I drew. It had gapped down into this area, so this was the first one that came to that I liked. Then I drew this one. This was the one. This is the top of the gap. That's the bottom of the gap. And I know that we teach that when you get a gap like this, you can draw a line from here to here, and everything behind this line is negated. All the levels behind this line on back is negated. But when I see an area like this, where the stock has been trading for almost a month in this same area, you have no significant moves up and no significant moves down. This level is going to be important to me. It's going to negate this. And this is based on and I feel I have about 5 years of market experience based on how much time I put in to studying and trading live markets. Even the market is closed, I might not have looked at this ticker all day. I can put it in on demand. I can watch it and I can trade it, and I can study how it moves. And once you learn how stocks move, and once you learn how to identify what comes prior to a stock moving, like in level 2 and time and sales, then things start to become more clear to you. And the only way to get that is to put the time in. You can talk to us, we can mentor you, we can teach you, but once you learn what to look for, you have to put the time in so that you can see it. You know, you can listen to music, but the music really doesn't have any meaning until you're able to actually hear the music. And that's a big difference. And I think it's the same way, you know, here with trading. You know, we can teach you everything you need to know. We can hold your hand through trades, but until you put the time in and you can actually start feeling the pulse of the market and be able to determine, you know, when a stock's going to move and what makes a stock move, then, you know, you're going to have a hard time being consistent. But, you know, that's why this level here was so important to me. 26.45, and then this other one down here at 26.18. And, you know, you'll see when we get to the 5-minute chart that this level was significant today. And this happens on pretty much all my trades. And I get a lot of questions about, you know, why did I mark out that level? It's in the gap. You know, and I tell them, didn't it bounce off that level? It's significant. You know, even though it's in a gap, it's significant. And this is one of the things I look for. You know, this shows me that this is a strong area. You know, so what it gapped, this is still a strong area. And I still believe you're going to have people sitting here because all this thing did was, you know, you still have price action in here, yeah. But, you know, this is still, you know, a pretty strong, you know, area of support or resistance. So it's going to be significant to me. Let's look at the 5-minute chart here. Okay, the 5 and the 2. You can see on ATVI. Now, one thing about this ticker, this was on short sale restriction, which adds another element to trying to get in and trying to get a good entry on this. Now, looking at this pre-market, you know, this last 30 minutes, at first, when this candle printed, I was thinking, well, hey, maybe we'll get a little test of this and it'll surge up into this 200 at the open and I could short off this level. And I almost clicked it, you know, because I knew I was going to have to catch it on an uptick. And I started to put an order in right here, you know, at 28.90 and risk it on 30. Risk it on 29. But this gave me pause. You see right here in pre-market, it tested this level. So I'm thinking, well, maybe this thing is going to test this level again and I'll get short into that level, which is even better because this is the biggest window that I have, for profit. And this is more than enough for me to make my daily goal and then some. I mean, even this window is more than enough for me to make my daily goal. But it opened and I just sat on my hands. I didn't click it. And when this candle opened, it started to push up a little bit. Then it quickly started selling off. So I started trying to get in right here around 28.50. And when a stock is washing like this and it's on SSR, it's almost impossible to get in with a limit order. You can watch time and sales and you can watch for the green prints to hit. But by the time you type in your order, those green prints are going to be gone. And more than likely, it's going to start going back down. So what I do in this case, I'll throw a market order out. And yes, it's dangerous because market makers can wash that thing down and get an uptick at 28 and fill me. And then I'm stuck in a trade. So, it is kind of risky, but I know what to look for. And I know that I have a line in the sand that if it crosses it, I'm going to cancel my order and, get out of the way. So I started here with a market order. I put it in around 28.50. 28.25 was going to be my line in the sand. If it went past that, I wasn't going to be interested in it because I felt I'd be chasing, and who knows whether it was going to turn around on this level here. And this level was the top of the gap that we were looking at. So, I didn't really know. I knew in pre-market that level didn't make any difference. But still, I was going to have a moment of pause here. But thankfully, I did get filled around 28.28. That was the average that I got filled at. And, I was in the trade pretty solid. Now, I made a mistake here, and this was just a fat finger mistake. I did not mean to click it here at 28, but I did. I took a quarter off here at 28. Took another quarter off here at 27.80. This is where I wanted to take, my first profit. So this should have been, 600 shares here. And the reason why I take half on my very first trade, I'm going to take half my position off at my first target because that will secure my daily goal. I'm not watching my P&L, but I've got the calculations figured that if my first profit target is not going to give me my daily goal, then it doesn't really make sense for me to trade it. Or I'll have to exit my whole position there and just lock in my daily goal and then move on. I guess that's one thing different about me, doing this full time, and this is my living. I have to make money. I have to make a paycheck. So if I can get my daily goal or my daily paycheck in the first 5-10 minutes, then I'm going to do it. And then the rest of the day is just going to be, gravy, hopefully. But, that was my goal here, but I ended up taking 300 off here for some unknown reason. And every day this week, I think I covered too early on my first cover. So I covered the other 300 here where I wanted to cover and got, the wash down here for the next profit target. I wanted to take it at around 27, but I got it here at 26. That's 27.06. That's not bad. That's acceptable for me. That's in that window. And, down here, 26, 70, I can't remember, 26.80 is when I got my last fill. So, that was a pretty good trade. I was pretty happy with it, with the exception of this. That cost me some money, some commissions, and some profit, but that's just something I got to work on. But if you've seen my videos the past couple weeks, one of my biggest pet peeves is that I always miss the second move. I always take my eye off it and start looking at what everybody else is looking at because I'm looking for a home run when I got one right here in my face. So I kept my eye on this. I'm looking at this level here. I knew this was my significant level. So when this came down and it bounced off of this, it tapped it. I got a doji here. I'm pretty, pumped that I'm going to go ahead and take a stab at this. There's no reason why I shouldn't, because here's the level I'm risking on right here. I've got a tight stop. So I'm going to go ahead and take it. I got here at 26.55. I got in it and immediately sold at the 9. That's my first profit target. This is, I don't know how this got moved over, but I took it on this candle right here, right when it hit the 9. And the reason why I have my profit targets at these moving averages on my reversal trades is that almost always the ticker is going to hit the moving average and then pull back. Sometimes it'll turn around like this one. Sometimes it'll pull all the way back and retest this. And sometimes it'll pull all the way back and lose this level. I want to lock in the profits. So this got the 9. I locked in half. That was a nice solid move. I went ahead and locked in half my profits. Had this pulled all the way back and held, I would have added that half back. But it didn't. I was thinking of adding back here again, but I was like, nah. My plan was to add, it needs to pull back and retest this level. But it didn't. And I still had my other half on. Went ahead and took a quarter off here at the 20. And then left the other quarter on to see what it would do with the VWAP. The VWAP was my target. So didn't really like the price action that was happening around this level. And, went ahead and took it off just above the VWAP. So very, very successful trade. I love this move here. This was textbook for me. Now, do other people manage their trade like that? No. That's just me. Because I have to make profit. And this is comfortable. I can do this without emotion. And I can do this just by watching the chart and hitting my marks. Being a race car driver, all those years, and, learning to hit my shift points and hitting my marks on the track, lining up perfectly and everything, and driving to the finish line, all of those things. Once I learned that I could translate this into my trading, it opened up a whole new world for me. Just like translating my reflection from teaching into this. All of these things that I brought in from my world has only helped and enhanced my trading. So that's why I trade the way I do. And obviously it works. It works well. So I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm going to continue to share it with those that I mentor and I work with. I'm going to continue sharing, all of this with them. And hopefully you can develop it, and they can develop it, and, they can be consistent and start turning out profits as well. Now, another thing I wanted to point out real quick. This was very interesting. All this is a market maker seeing these stop orders or these hard stops and taking them out. That's why I don't like using hard stops, because market makers can see it and they can take it out. And that's why I was I was real concerned about trying to market in here to get in on this ticker, because they can wash it and give it some upticks real quick here, and I'm done. So yeah, if it starts to wash and it passes that point, I'm clicking it. I'm taking my order off. So if they come down there, they won't see it anymore. It'll be gone. So, that I thought that was interesting. Today I see this every now and then, and you'll hear me say, if my stop is over, a close above the 9 or a close above the VWAP. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times traders use the 9 and moving averages and the VWAP as stops, and they may be 5 cents over or 10 cents over, but they're hard stops. If market makers see it, they want to take them out, and they'll take them out and come right back down, and then the move will continue. And if I had a hard stop, I would get stopped out and miss the move down. So it's just one of the things that I look for. But I hope everybody, had a good week. I'll show you, I've had an excellent 2 weeks, even though I have kind of struggled on Mondays. And this week I struggled Tuesday, and Wednesday was a struggle as well. But minus commissions, I've got right at $10,000 profit in 2 weeks. Trading, and really not trading as efficiently as this. But these are the moves. Now, how can somebody do this on a $5,000 account? Well, yeah, I started with 8, right at 8 this month. But if you had a $5,000 account and you're at Sure Trader, you got $30,000 buying power, and you're very comfortable trading these, and you know what you're looking at, you know how to set your stops, you could go in this 1,000 shares, still not maxed out your buying power, and make $1,600 the same move. $1,600. It's easy. You have to use margin, but you have to use it responsibly. The only way I can make it is to use margin. That's it. Once I get my account fully funded at Speed Trader and I can trade all the time over there, I might not have to use margin as much. But the thing is, you have to use it. It's there, and it's a tool that you have to use responsibly. And I feel I do that, and I don't take unnecessary risks. I don't hold and hope. I cut my losses quick. I've had several losses over the past 2 weeks, but I've kept them within that $100 to $200 range. 200 is my max loss now, and I've clicked it, and I've made the right choices. So I'm pretty pleased with myself. So I say all this to say, you can have a small account, you can make trades like this. You have the tools at your disposal. You have to have the right broker, and you have to know how to use it. It's our responsibility as traders to learn how to use these tools and maximize their effectiveness, because if we don't, we're going to be part of that 90% that doesn't make it. And I know a lot of traders that started with me just strangle themselves out of being successful because they didn't take advantage of the tools that they had. So, enough of my rant. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Most people probably have quit by now, but listening to me, but oh well. Have a great weekend. I know I'm going to enjoy it, and Hope to see everybody back next Tuesday in chat.